The night sky over Qatar erupted in chaos and fear as sudden flashes and thunderous booms shattered the calm. Residents gazed upward, witnessing streaks of light and explosions that illuminated the city, unsure of what was unfolding above them. Iran had launched a barrage of missiles targeting the Al Udeid air base, a vital US military hub in the region, sending shockwaves through both military and civilian communities. Iranian officials quickly claimed responsibility, stating the attack was a direct retaliation for recent US strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. The missiles were aimed at both Qatar and a US base in Iraq, signaling a bold escalation. Qatar's defense ministry responded swiftly, announcing that their advanced air defense systems had intercepted the incoming missiles, successfully preventing casualties and major damage to infrastructure. Despite the successful defense, residents of Doha were left shaken by the terrifying sounds and sights overhead. Viral videos of the fiery sky and missile interceptions quickly spread across social media, capturing the world's attention. The attack marked a dangerous escalation in regional tensions, raising fears of a broader conflict in the already volatile Middle East. Emergency services remained on high alert throughout the night. As the world watched anxiously, uncertainty loomed over what actions Washington and Tehran might take next, with global leaders calling for restraint and urgent diplomatic efforts to prevent further violence. The missile strike sent shockwaves through global markets, triggering immediate panic and uncertainty among investors worldwide. Stock exchanges from New York to Tokyo reacted with sharp volatility as traders scrambled to assess the potential fallout from the escalating Middle East crisis. Oil prices initially surged to their highest levels in months, fueled by fears of supply disruptions and geopolitical instability in the region. But as news emerged that the attack had been contained, prices plunged over 7%, leaving markets whipsawed and investors reeling from the rapid swings. Meanwhile, airspace closures across the Gulf created chaos for international travel, diverting dozens of flights bound for Doha and Dubai, and stranding thousands of passengers in airports across the region. Major airlines like Egypt Air and Kuwait Airways suspended flights entirely, compounding the disruption and leaving travelers with few options to reach their destinations. The incident exposed just how quickly a military confrontation can disrupt not only global commerce, but also the daily routines of millions who depend on stable transportation networks. While the initial oil panic faded, the episode made it clear that the global economy remains deeply vulnerable to tensions in the Middle East, with ripple effects felt far beyond the region. Airlines and travelers alike faced hours of uncertainty, anxiously waiting for skies to reopen and for normalcy to return to their journeys. Ultimately, the world was reminded just how interconnected and fragile modern life can be, as a single event sent shockwaves through both financial markets and everyday routines. Even as missiles flew overhead and lit up the night sky, diplomatic channels stayed open behind the scenes, with urgent talks underway. US officials, including President Trump's envoy, sought to de-escalate the crisis, but direct contact with Iran's supreme leader proved elusive and difficult. The White House anticipated Iran's retaliation in the coming hours, but signaled readiness to respond if provoked further by any new attacks. Homeland Security reassured Americans there were no new threats to the US homeland. Both sides balanced military posturing with diplomatic outreach, hoping to avoid a wider war. The success of these efforts would determine if the region could step back from the brink of conflict. The US military took significant precautions before the attack, moving aircraft from Al Udeid to safer locations and preparing for any possible escalation. They also sent Navy ships out of Bahrain, repositioning assets to reduce vulnerability. Iran reportedly warned Qatar in advance, allowing local defenses to prepare and minimizing casualties on the ground. Iran's strike appeared carefully calibrated, a show of strength, but not intended to cause mass destruction or provoke a wider conflict. Afterward, Iran reassured Qatar The attack targeted only the US base, aiming to preserve diplomatic ties and regional stability. Both sides seemed to follow unwritten rules to avoid all-out war, maintaining a delicate balance. The advance warning was crucial, enabling interception, rapid response, and de-escalation. The episode revealed a dangerous but choreographed exchange between adversaries, highlighting the risks of escalation. In the immediate aftermath of the missile strike, Qatar swiftly condemned Iran's actions, calling the attack a clear violation of its sovereignty and international law. However, Qatari officials also emphasized their nation's successful defense, highlighting the effectiveness of their air defense systems and the professionalism of their armed forces in intercepting the threat. Meanwhile, Iran justified its missile launch as a proportional response to recent US actions in the region, insisting it was a necessary measure to demonstrate resolve. Tehran signaled military strength, but also made it clear that it was not seeking a wider war, hoping to avoid further escalation. The region remains tense, but relatively stable for now, with Qatari leaders assuring their citizens of continued safety and heightened security measures. The United States, for its part, is keeping diplomatic channels open, urging restraint on all sides and working closely with regional partners. The advance warning and successful interception of the missile created a crucial pause, preventing immediate escalation and buying time for diplomacy. The situation remains fragile. Future steps will depend on careful decisions made in Washington, in Tehran, and in other key capitals across the region and beyond. This crisis has revealed both the region's advanced military capabilities and the critical importance of back-channel communication and quiet diplomacy in preventing disaster. The world now waits anxiously to see if this episode will ultimately help cool tensions, or if it will ignite a much larger and more dangerous conflict in the days ahead.